And, so I moved to California, and as kind of a baby believer, not really knowing what I didn't know and not really knowing what I really knew,
Yeah.
and I tried to get plugged in out in Modesto when I moved out there. And I actually ended up going to Calvary Chapel at the time with the house,
Oh
before
yeah,
it was
yeah,
the
yeah.
house. And I didn't know anything about denominations. I didn't know anything about like how things kind of broke down across denominational lines. And so, I show up to this church that they're speaking in tongues. They're doing things like that. I just didn't understand.
Very different
And
experience.
yeah, absolutely. And I remember going to a house church, or like a house small group for one of my friends who attended that church. And they're doing like a small group setting, and they're doing. I remember there was a worship leader in the middle, and we're all just singing songs and stuff. And then in the middle, they break down and speak in tongues. And I'm like, as a baby believer, I'm kind of reading my scripture, and I'm like looking at Second Corinthians. I'm looking at Corinthians and trying to figure out like, hey, what is this about? Like, if you speak in tongues, there's going to be like an interpreter. Like, and I didn't hear an interpretation. Like, am I supposed to hear that? Like, and
That's
and I'm not
amazing that
saying
you were
that there
picking up on
was,
some of that.
yeah, and
That you're
because it
like
was
comparing
weird.
your experience to what you were reading in the Bible as a young Christian.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's a gift. Because I think
Well,
as a young
and
Christian, like it's a lot of your influence comes from the teaching that you receive from the people
yeah,
that
who
are,
you're around.
you know, around you and the leaders in your church. And it's hard, I think, in that point of your Christian walk, so at the beginning, to kind of dig into scripture and pull out for yourself these theological concepts. So the fact that you were,
Right.
hey, I'm seeing this happen here, but when I read about it, it's like this, and it's a very different thing. That's a
Yeah.
neat thing to have.
And I wasn't, I assumed I was wrong. You know what I mean? I assumed I just didn't understand it, and
Okay.
so I went
Yeah.
and found out. I was like, what, like, I must be reading this wrong, or there must be something that helps explain this that because I just opened it up and found the passage of scripture, like what am I missing? And I
Hmm.
remember going to some of the leaders, and not to say that they were doing anything wrong. I just didn't understand it. And it was weird to me. It was not a tradition I
Right.
was used to. And
Yeah.
so I sought clarification, um, and I didn't, and I'm not saying they didn't answer it well enough. I just didn't understand whatever their answer was, and it turned me
Hmm.
off. I just kind of felt like I don't, this is weird, and I don't fully understand it. So I'm going to go ahead and just back out. I'm just going to leave, and
Yeah.
that was kind of the start of kind of a little bit of time period where I walked away from God. Didn't really walk with him at all. Wasn't really reading my Bible. Wasn't doing, seeking anything, going to church.